I feel like reviewing a game today.
What game?
I don't know. Let me check. God of War?
Nah, the thing will just be Kratos screaming.
Boy.
FF7 remake? Okay, I understand. DDLC?
Nah, I don't want to feel suicidal today.
It's a sign from the gods.
No, it's a sign from Dino. He dropped it from the rails upstairs. But I think we should still review it.
Okay. Spider-Man 2 the 8th is a great game. But is it the greatest Spider-Man 2? There are tons of amazing Spider-Man 2s, like this one, this one, this one, or this one. So today, we are here to see how good of a Spider-Man 2 actually is. Spider-Man 2 the 8th is an action game developed by Insomniac Games for the reason of expanding the story and gameplay they have made in previous entries, but also to improve their tech and most importantly, swinging. It is priced at 3,500 pesos at current. So not the cheapest game, but it is surely worth it. The game is set in Manhattan with a brand new extension of the map, Queens, which means that it is now 2 times bigger than previous entries. I do not know what month it is in, but if I have to guess, it is in the middle of the year, between June to August. Podcasts are still here from the last game, and they feel relatively the same. Danacast being a more casual podcast that talks about events in the cities, and Face the Facts being a more professional version of it, with a slight hint of anti-Spider-Man and anti-Vigilante in it. Now, what hooks most players into the story of this game is how Peter's relationship with his friends and family are being changed by the suit, how it affects him as Spider-Man, and how that affects the city.
That suit is changing you.
This suit is the only reason I'm still alive.
Yeah, it's pretty great, isn't it?
Why don't you pop some more pills and say what you really feel?
Hey, don't!
For Miles' story, we see how he tries to balance out being Spider-Man, hunting for Martin Lee, the killer of his dad, and the effects of the bad choices he makes and the attempts he makes to balance these 3 things.
For MJ's story, we see her disappointed with Peter and try to see Venom's full 19... Oh, hold on. Hello? I was on the wrong script? Sorry, my bad. I was on the other script, not the Game Break one. Let me just get the Game Break one. Oh, this is what I was supposed to read. Okay, here we go. These different stories combine together to help keep the player hooked onto the game and keep itching on finding out what happens to evil Spider-Man as the story progresses.
On a side note, Miles' story arc throughout the game involving hunting Lee and how to get over the grief of his dad's death is much more interesting than what Peter's story generally revolves around in the game. So I applaud Insomniac for that, but I do think that the main Spider-Man should be given more spotlight and given more care with his story in following entries. So yeah, now let's talk about Combat has 5 main components: grounded combat, aerial combat, dodging, gadget usage, and skill usage. These elements are all used in different situations and need to be used in tandem with each other so that you get the best results in your fight and make it as flashy as possible. Swinging is much simpler than combat. Has just a few mechanics: swinging, web wings, point launching, skills, corner tethering, and the 2 launch options. Then, for universal controls, triangle is used to interact with things. For game modes in this game, there are none, but there are 5 difficulties: friendly neighborhood, friendly, amazing, spectacular, and ultimate. Friendly neighborhood is for babies. That's right, babies. Here, you cannot die and take very little damage, and the enemies are very non-aggressive. Friendly is the same, but you can die. Amazing is for normies who want a normal difficulty level. Spectacular is just a stepping stone to ultimate, where you get 2 shot by everything. Still quite easy once you get the combat down though. Ultimate makes you 2 shot to everything, 1 shot to specific moves, gives you aggressive enemies, game experience, and combo opportunities. But even after all of this, it is still ridiculously easy. To prove this statement, we will show some raw footage and voice recordings of Cody, a complete beginner, playing a hunter base on Ultimate. Okay, so turns out making a beginner play the hardest difficulty on the game isn't a good idea, and it's obviously gonna be hard for them. But you'll just have to take my word for it that once you've mastered the combat mechanics of this game, it becomes easy even on the hardest difficulty. Now, let's talk about some qualities of the game and some of its gameplay elements. First off, in my opinion, I think they went with the realistic approach because it allows Spider-Man to feel more grounded in the city where he belongs. Spider-Man is nothing without his city and vice versa. I love how they portray the different weathers and times of the day throughout the game and how Spidey's suit gets more damage the more enemies hit you. Speaking of enemies hitting you, let's talk about the combat. In my opinion, Peter explains it best in a voice line from Miles' spin-off game.
Part of this hero thing is branding. What kind of hero are you? Green beefcake eats bullets for breakfast? The sneaky ninja hugs the shadows? Me? I'm all about the acrobatic ballet. No, dip, dive, and dodge. They can't hit me, they can't hurt me. Plus, I look pretty good doing it.
Amazing Spidey Sense system, which enables 2 types of dodging: normal dodging and precision dodging. Normal dodging gives you iframes and distance from opponents, but has massive end lag to make up for its ease of use. Precision dodging is just the big brother of normal dodging. Normally done when you dodge just as the Spidey Sense signal is red. The benefits of this are style, no end lag, instantly web up enemies unless they are shielded or a boss, and can trigger some effects based on upgrades you use. Now, let's talk about the swinging. First off, physics-based swinging instead of animation-based is so good. The fact you can dive bomb from a building and carry that speed and momentum you gained from the dive into a loop-de-loop and then go directly into using your web wings is so satisfying and fun. Sometimes you can get stuck playing hours on end of this game, just swinging around the city and seeing what there is to see. The dodging in this game may seem significantly easier than others because of the Spidey Sense system, but long startup attacks by brute rank enemies or higher can easily mess you up if you are used to dodging near instant attacks. Which is why the precision dodge exists. It lets you dodge the enemies with no end lag and punish them because it webs them up in an instant. The other kinesthetic elements in this game are based around how you weave in between attacks and punish said attacks without getting hit. There's the precision point launch, but that just becomes second nature after you get to play with it for a few minutes. TLDR, I just love this game. I absolutely adore it. It's addictive combat system, it's swinging, and it's amazing world building, and characters still have me longing on every weekend to play maybe 8 hours at a time. I think they should be something that is praised. For me, I'll give the game a 9 out of 10. No flaws, but I wish they would have spent more time with Peter without the suit before he got it, because it felt like they were just rushing to get the story to that point. But other than that, there's nothing I have to say. Anyways, hope you enjoyed. Goodbye.